Hello everyone. This is my take on Google Notebook, a very useful Web 2.0 application. Provided you've signed up, you can go to your notebook with this URL, and that will take you to your list of existing notebooks. Notebook is a central repository for notes, and you can have any number of notes spread across any number of notebooks. Within a note, you can copy and paste from the clipboard, and typically that information can come from parts of web pages, but you can also type information directly. Your notes are stored in a series of notebooks, which you can restructure and reorder as necessary, and each note can be tagged or labeled and also turned into web pages. All notes in all notebooks can be searched, and of course the benefit is you can access these notes from anywhere on the internet. Individual notebooks can be kept private, or they can be shared with a list of people that you select, and you can also make them public and publish them to web pages. It's possible to copy any individual notebook, which can contain a large number of notes, into a single document in Google Docs, which of course is another Web 2.0 service offered by Google. All you need to access a Google Notebook is a Google ID. This is mine shown here, and you'll see it can be a Gmail address or indeed any Google ID that you care to create. There's also a mobile phone version of Notebook. Simply by putting a /m on the end of the address, you'll get a mobile phone version of this very useful feature. Here we see the full page view of Google Notebook, in which you can access all features. Let's first of all create a new notebook. Give it a name. I'll call it the General Basket. And now we're working in this notebook, which becomes the current notebook for whichever task you perform. You can enter a new note, and you get one by default by just typing. Or of course you can copy and paste into here any information. Once you've created a note, you can add a label to it to allow for easy searching. You can add any number of labels you like to each note. Subsequently, you can come back and comment on this note. And indeed, if you share your notebook, others of course can make comments on any note. Once created, notes can be expanded and collapsed by clicking on the plus and minus button. And you can, via tools, collapse all notes or expand all notes. Another useful feature within a notebook is that you can add section headers. So let's go to the top. We can click on this position to add a new note, or in this case a section. We call that main tasks, for example. All notes are contained within a section or other and can be moved around as needed. So we could come down here and create a new section, and then start adding notes in this section. Once created, you can drag a section around together with all the notes within it. Of course, you can go in and re-edit the contents of any note, and you can delete notes via the various tools here. So there's complete editability for all notes and sections. You can search notes up here by looking for all notes containing the word note, of course, of which there are several. One of the nicest features of Google Notebook is the use of so-called mini mode. This is achieved by installing browser extensions which are available both for Firefox here and also Internet Explorer. When you do so, you get a little link at the bottom of the page which allows you to open a mini mode version of Google Notebook. You'll see it mirrors the existing notebook we have open. By going to another web page, you still retain the view of the mini notebook, and let's say you find a useful paragraph of information. Clicking on Clip will now make a new note in the existing notebook containing that information, including any links that may be present. You can also use this feature for copying images and other media from within the web page. So if you now copy something containing an image, you can also copy that image as well. A second useful mode in this mini display is copying a few text words, right clicking on here. You can also click on Note This, and this will also create a new note. From mini mode, you can always go back to the full view by clicking on Full Page. Having collected your notes together, you can save the whole notebook as a single web page by clicking on this link, and now you will see this page can be printed or the URL here given to anyone for accessing this page, provided you make it public or have made it available to others. Another useful capability is to use the Google Docs web service by exporting this notebook to documents. Again, you will need to have signed up for Google Docs, but that's a very similar process to signing up for Google Notebook. Here now it's created a single Google Docs file containing the contents of all your notes. This can now be saved in the Google Docs area. It goes into the area Items Not in Folders. So here we have this document we've exported from our notebook. Then you have available to you the full features of Google Docs. For example, you can mark it up, share it, move it to one of your other folders, but very usefully you can now save this as a zip HTML in Open Document Forward, PDF, RTF, text and Word. And so now you can convert your notebook page into a number of other formats, which is very useful indeed. So going back to Notebook, you'll have seen that it's a good place to store structured tagged information in a central repository accessible from anywhere on the internet. By default, your notebooks are private, but using the sharing options, you can invite others to collaborate on your notebook. Here you type their email addresses. They get an email inviting them to collaborate. If they don't have a Google ID, they're told how to get one. But if they do have a Google ID, they can now come in and start collaborating on the notebook, which means they can edit and insert and delete in the same way as the owner. You can also publish this notebook as a published web page if you wish. You'll see that the browser extensions make copying and pasting of fragments of web pages very easy. Of course, you can also copy and paste from any other source via the clipboard. And exporting your notes in a number of other useful formats is possible via Google Docs. I highly recommend this web application.